Hey, Jay Teagues here, high performance coach and mindset coach, and today I'm going to talk to you about self-doubt and give you 5 strategies to help you overcome limiting beliefs. So, self-doubt is something that we all have. Unless you're a sociopath, you have some level of self-doubt in your subconsciousness. But how is it that some people can achieve at a higher level and overcome that self-doubt, whereas for other people, they are paralyzed by it? So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. So I'm going to ask you a few questions here up front. Have you ever avoided something because you knew it would be uncomfortable? What are some of the tasks that you do that you absolutely hate and dread, but you know you need to get it done? And why do you dislike them so much? What are the things in your life that you're avoiding now that you know you need to do in order to level up? Who are the cheerleaders in your life who clap when you win? And then who are the people that maybe make little snide comments? They don't necessarily support you. Maybe they kind of jokingly around. Maybe you say you're like on a diet program and they kind of offer you a beer or a piece of cake. Who are those people? And then what is a lofty goal that you have put aside due to a limiting belief and self-doubt? So our minds are wired to avoid things that are uncomfortable, which is really illogical because when you think about it, if you look at success and progress, it requires a level of discomfort, right? So we spend all these years going to school, high school, for example, day after day, dreading it. A lot of, you're doing math where they mix in letters. It sucks, right? I don't like math, so sorry if you're a math nerd. But everyone does something in their career as a student that's dreadful or they dislike, right? But when you walk across the stage, that sense of accomplishment is just an awesome feeling. It's the same as if you ran like maybe a 5K or a marathon. It's like you do all the training, you got to train up for the event, and then during the race itself, like say during a marathon, like you hit mile 18, where that's the notorious wall, and you like question why you paid so much to be at the event. Why are you doing this? Why did you paid to run in this event? What am I doing here? This sucks. But then you find your way to the finish line, and it just feels awesome to cross it. And then you start feeling good, and you're like, man, I can't wait to sign up again. So there's a dichotomy there. We have a lot of self-doubt, limiting beliefs. There's a level of discomfort and dread that comes along with doing things, and there's a sense of accomplishment. And just know that that's just part of life with every task. So I'll have you consider that discomfort is your friend, and you've got to be comfortable being uncomfortable. Most of us seek comfort and take a path of least resistance when we can, but just know that it's going to make you soft, okay? So you got to find ways to be uncomfortable, and just know that that's part of life. And the more uncomfortable and the more comfortable you are with being uncomfortable, the more it's going to limit and reduce the self-doubt in your mind, okay? And I always recall times in my life where I did something really uncomfortable, and I'm in an uncomfortable moment. Say, for example, like because of my experiences in the military, when I'm cold outside and I'm really uncomfortable, I always think about that time that I was in Japan doing extreme cold weather training and snowshoes and skis, and we're wearing the whites and jumping out of helicopters into the snow. It was like negative 30. We were out there for 30 days. It was miserable, absolutely miserable cold. But, and I kind of revert back to that. I'm like, you know what? I was able to make it through this little sporting event with my children where I forgot my jacket. I'm going to be okay. It's going to be okay. So the more uncomfortable situations that you put yourself in, the more you're going to have an ability to draw back on that moment to kind of give you some perspective. So it definitely helps with your doubts and limiting beliefs. Unfortunately, we put ourselves into little boxes sometimes of who we are. We put labels on these little boxes. We put ourselves in boxes. And also, the people closest to us, our friends, our family, our coworkers, we tend to put each other in little boxes. And so have you ever dreamed of doing something like have a lofty goal, and then you tell a family member or a friend that you're going to do this thing, and then they just kind of crap all over it like, man, there's no way you can do that. Man, don't expect too much, Or maybe good luck with that. Let me know how that works out for you. Maybe you're like on a diet program or doing this fitness routine, and they're like friends are offering you beer at a party or a cake, like, oh, you're going to be okay, but they know that you're on the program, and it's almost like they're trying to sabotage you, even if it's in good fun. It's like, what's up with that? So we're often motivated to pursue goals, and then our closest people around us remind us of the risks, the downsides, and our limitations. And oftentimes their advice can be well-intentioned, and it comes from a place of love and caring, but and they think they're giving you this advice for your own good, but it's really because they're insecure and maybe jealous, and they're threatened by the fact that you're transcending outside of the box. And it reflects on the walls that they've built for themselves. Because anytime that you do something that threatens someone else, achieving a goal or doing something outside the norm of what they thought that you were as a person, it threatens them. And so you've got to be cognizant of that, okay? And it's like the crabs in a bucket mentality. I don't know if you've heard that term before, but when fishermen put crabs in a bucket, the crabs will try to crawl out. And as they're crawling out, the other crabs inside will grab them and pull them back in. And it's the mindset that if I can't have, neither can you. And so when this happens, members of a group will attempt to reduce the self-confidence of any member who achieves success beyond the others. And this is out of envy, spite, resentment, conspiracy, or competitive feelings. And ultimately, whether intentional or maybe they're just thinking that they're loving you and caring for you, they're going to talk you out of your hopes and dreams. And when you give in, you go back into your little box, and then the self-doubt in your subconsciousness grows even larger. So sometimes the hardest conversation you're going to have are with yourself and trying to overcome that self-doubt. You're going to have a big goal, want to achieve it, and then there's going to be that voice in your head because of your limiting beliefs and then the fear of what other people are going to think, your friends, family. And that voice in your head is going to say that you can't do it. And that's your self-doubt. And it's a natural reaction to any bold attempt at a lofty goal. So how do you overcome self-doubt? How do you overcome the anxiety and negative feeling and the avoidance associated with self-doubt? So you need to know that everyone has it. Like I said before, unless you're a sociopath, everyone has limiting beliefs and self-doubt. It's how you acknowledge it, and whether or not you listen to it or turn the volume down will be the difference maker. So in order to overcome self-doubt, you're going to have to reframe your confidence. There's a concept called the competence-confidence loop. So in your ability to learn new skills and new tasks will enable you to develop competence in something, and when you're competent in something, you're going to have more confidence in something. So it's more of, do you have the ability to learn a concept? Are you willing to get in there and fail? Are you willing to get in there and just be honest with yourself, knowing that you may need to ask for help in order to develop a level of competence that's going to give you the level of confidence? So that's the competence-confidence loop. So in order to overcome self-doubt, you've got to understand that you may not have the competence, but in developing competence, it's going to increase your confidence. So, but you've got to do the work. You've got to get in there and learn the skill and do the work and be willing to fail. So in addition to that, let me give you 5 strategies to overcome self-doubt. So the first one is you got to have good time management. Okay, you got to get control of your day, and you got to enter each day with more intention and not live so reactionary. Because if you never develop the skill sets to win, and you don't control your days, and you're just reacting to everyone else, you don't block that time for self-improvement, you're not going to develop the competence that you need to develop the confidence that we just talked about. So randomness will creep into your life, and when randomness creeps into your life, your first reaction is to put your abilities to learn and grow aside. Okay, so you gotta have time management and get control of your day. Second thing that you can do is get clarity, who you are as a person. Get clear on your goals, your purpose, and your mission, and use the SMART method. Your goals should be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and timely. Get clear on who you are as a person and what you want. Achieve a plan develop a plan, identify the skills that you need to achieve. Going back to identifying the skills, developing the competence, increasing your confidence. It's important, okay? Decide your goal, develop a plan, and show up consistently. Get the map, know the path, move toward the objective, stay on the path. It's deciding, committing, and succeeding. Third strategy, do hard things. Find things that are uncomfortable. Subject yourselves to these difficult tasks and challenges, and this will callous your mind. Doing hard things gives you confidence. It strengthens your mind, gives you a sense of accomplishment, and it gives you a reference point later in time. So when you're doing something else difficult, hey, I had this challenging thing that I did and I was able to overcome it, and this is what I did to do that. So, and you should do something difficult each day. It could be, that's why I like exercise so much, because it's a difficult task that you have to do every day. I'm doing 75 hard, and in phase 1, you have to take a 5-minute cold shower. And it's not the most pleasant experience, but I tell you what, it makes me grateful for that cup of coffee. It makes me grateful for that towel when I get out. And it's just another point of reference when I'm feeling uncomfortable. Like, hey, this isn't so bad. I took that cold shower this morning. So just get comfortable being uncomfortable. And just know that you're going to take the path of least resistance. Anytime that you have the opportunity to do something more difficult, do it and embrace it and lean into it. Fourth strategy, surround yourself with people who clap when you win. And your success in general is going to be dependent upon who you surround yourself with. You're the average of the 5 closest people in your life. And you want to surround yourself with people who are going to hold you accountable, who force you to raise your ambition, who clap when you win, and make sure you turn down the volume on the naysayers. And this is difficult because they could be the ones that you love the most. And sometimes you just have to bless and release, turn the volume button down, like, I got this. I'm clear on who I am as a person. I'm confident in my abilities. I'm going to get this done. And I'm going to take that spite and that doubt that you have of me, and I'm just going to use it as fuel to overcome it. I'm going to show you. And that's the best way to deal with that. So surround yourself with good people. Turn down the volume on naysayers. Take their doubts and use it as fuel to overcome. And then the 5th strategy is just honor the struggle. There's going to be difficult tasks and mundane tasks that you have to do. But instead of avoiding and complaining about them, have reverence for them. It's part of life. So when you say things like, hey, I hate taking out the trash, you get in arguments, it's just energy, you're arguing with your kid, it's friction, it takes emotional energy. You begin to dread it even before you have to execute the task. It's like a simple, a couple minute thing. And there's a lot of tasks that we have in our life, and this takes a little bit of work to do, but just have reverence for it. Just know that there's little struggles and mundane things that you have to do. And just high performers embrace the suck. That's just the bottom line. Do hard things, embrace the suck, do the mundane, have reverence for it, lean forward, look forward to the work, and just show up with joy, and just know that's just part of life. And there's a great quote from David Goggins. Just read, "Can't hurt me." Greatness in having a characteristic of winning is not something that if you meet it once, it stays with you forever. That shit evaporates like a flash of hot oil in a pan. I love that quote because being great and having the characteristic of winning, it takes constant work. And in order to be great, you're going to have to rein in that self-doubt. You're going to have to have confidence in your ability to learn. You're going to have to increase your competence, increase your confidence, and turn down the volume on those that are naysayers, and surround yourselves with people that are going to clap when you win. And if you truly want to level up and you want to achieve the next level, you're going to have to make sustaining greatness and developing that winning habit and do it on a consistent basis. And you have to do it for long periods of time. And you're going to have to put obstacles. There are going to be obstacles in your way. And the people that are high performers, who are the top 15% of their field, they figure out a way to get over the obstacles, and they make it happen. And they embrace the friction. They know it's going to be challenging. They're confident in their ability to learn. They don't give in to they're not paralyzed by their self-doubt and their limiting beliefs. They just get after it, and they do it anyway. They may fall down. You fall down 7 times, you get up 8. That's the difference. So I hope this gives you some perspective. I hope it serves you well. Just remember, do hard things, and yeah, that's like I said, we all have self-doubt, and don't let it limit you. Like, you have the ability to overcome it. So employ these 5 strategies. I would love to know, what goal do you have that is pretty lofty that you've been tabling due to self-doubt? So comment below, share below, what your big goal is, what your limiting belief is, and what you need to do to overcome it. I would love to hear it. So, like I said, hope this serves you well. Do hard things. We'll talk to you later. Bye.